Hey, how compatible are you? When you're looking for a life partner, the first question you need to ask is, how compatible are we, right? Compatibility in a relationship will help you understand if you're right for each other. Your personality, your interests, and so many other qualities can be used to figure out whether or not you and your partner are going to work out. Let's find out. Hey, this is Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. You've probably been told that compatibility is one of the most important things in a relationship, and it's pretty important, but there are lots of other stuff that will tell you what really makes a love connection work. And there's kind of some unexpected signs that you might miss. Let's start with the myths. These are the myths about compatibility that most people believe, and it screws up your relationship. Myth number one is, if you have too many differences, you're not compatible. Well, this one's very misleading. The fact is, you do need some differences in your relationship, or you're going to run the risk of being too much like each other. Boredom sets in, and the relationship lacks a certain energy. Relationship compatibility needs two people who are willing to work with one another. Basically, that's it. Inevitably, you'll have conflict in your relationship. What's more important is how you handle those arguments and those disagreements. Myth number two, you might have to change to be compatible. Again, this is false. If you're changing your habits and behaviors to match your partner or to save your relationship or your marriage, this is a disaster waiting to happen. Part of the reason that opposites attract is because we want to connect with somebody that's different from ourselves. Our level of attraction is in direct proportion to how unique this person is to us. Keep in mind that anything you change to match him just becomes something that turns boring later on. You can never sacrifice your unique individual qualities and your characteristics just to seem a little bit more compatible with a guy. I'm going to share my compatibility quiz with you here in just a minute. Myth number three is, how compatible you are means how many things you both like. Well, it sounds like that should be true, right? But while you should like some things and have some things in common, you also need to have some variety and diversity in your interests. The truth is that happy couples don't always have as much in common as you might think. Research findings show that the happiest couples have some different interests that they do while they're not together. All of them have this. Being in a happy relationship is a function of how much effort and focus you put on it, not on the relatively easy situation of just being alike, being just like the other person. Which makes sense if you think about it. Most people rely way too much on the easy part, simply liking the same things. Anybody can do that. And unhappy couples often blame incompatibility for the relationship dissatisfaction or the reason that they broke up. They put a high value on similarity, as if being more alike would fix their troubles. When we blame incompatibility, that's just shorthand for, you know what, I just got lazy and I lost the will to work at the really tough stuff. It was easier just to find a new person. Myth number four is, in order to be compatible, your personalities have to be the same. And again, another mistake people make about how compatible you are is thinking that you have to have the same opinions, the same beliefs, and that's not true. While it certainly helps, you can't match in everything. And when you consider that we often change our opinions later in life, you get a new perspective on the important factors that make up a couple. Myth number five, you need to be compatible in bed. Many people believe that you have to be compatible with sex, but what does that even mean? The fact is that if you are truly in love with each other and you're connected in your hearts, you'll find the compatibility in the bedroom. That's no problem there. You have the desire and the motivation to meet your partner's needs. That's all that matters. Hey, are you curious if you're really compatible with a guy? Is he somebody that you're interested in? Is he somebody that you're already dating? Maybe you're married to and you want to find out? Well, find out now. Go to the link you see here, datingfire.com/compatible. datingfire.com/compatible. Or just click the link in the description below. Myth number six is, your zodiac signs have to be compatible. Bottom line, you can't tell what compatibility you have with your boyfriend from his birthday or the position of the stars. Yes, checking your astrological charts can seem fun, but the best focus is on the day-to-day, real issues of your relationship. Be sure to spend most of your attention looking at his willingness to meet you halfway, rather than whether or not he's a Taurus man that's compatible with a Libra. Zodiacs are fun, but that's not how you make a relationship work. The next myth is, when you're compatible, you don't argue. Wrong. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make about compatibility. Instead of trying to find the right partner for the right reasons, they try to avoid conflict. Arguments are a necessary part of relationships. You can't avoid them. And when you try to avoid conflict in your relationships, you develop a bad habit of not facing your problems. But what really helps making them less frequent and less intense is that you're both on the same team. You look for ways to meet your relationship goals together. And the next myth is to figure out how compatible you are, you should be friends first. No, that's another big mistake that tries to remove romantic pressure as a way of making a better relationship. The truth is, if you want a romantic connection, both partners need to start with attraction and desire. And you also have to keep your intuition turned on and not let your feelings run away from you. If you're the type of person that can't stop from jumping in feet first, there's a good possibility that your problem isn't really compatibility. It's controlling your impulses and your fear of loss. If you're brutally honest with yourself, you might have noticed that anytime he started out being friends with you first, it probably lacked passion and fire, and that's absolutely necessary to make it a romantic love story. Hey, if you like this video, go on, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. You can get them every week and you'll know immediately when they're released. Don't miss out. All right, let's talk about compatibility recipes now. Let me give you recipe number one. Number one is make sure he's got at least a few activities in common with you. Yes, it is a good idea to have activities you can share with each other, and the importance here is the activity, okay, not just a preference. They don't all have to match, but your guy should be open enough to share some of your hobbies and some of your interests. Again, it's more important that he's willing than if he appears to instantly match all of your interests. After all, you should have things to share with each other along the way, right? Keep things interesting, challenge each other. The next compatibility recipe is the stuff you like isn't as important as the values you share. After all, which is more important? That he likes the same music and movies you do, he wants to travel the same places you do, he likes to party like you do, or he loves music in general and likes exploring new musical groups. He enjoys the novelty of going to new locations and traveling to new places, or he really enjoys being fun and social. I think you'll agree the second options are obviously much more important. It's an attitude that will last throughout your relationship. The next compatibility recipe is make sure you're both on board with the money. The most common area of compatibility, I put that in finger quotes, that splits people up and couples up is their attitude towards money. If you don't share a similar attitude about your finances and your financial situation, it's easy to build up resentment for your partner. Most marriages end because of relationships that have disagreements in the finances, in the money. Next compatibility recipe is celebrate each other's freedom. One of the most unlikely areas of compatibility is your individual freedom. The more freedom we feel within our relationship, the more affection and patience you're going to have. Freedom within the relationship is especially important for men. Not so that he can step out on you or just do his own thing without you, but it's there so that he can feel his independence. This is essential to a guy. It's a very big part of masculinity. And most women don't know this. They go in the other direction. They try and lock him down and take away all of his freedom. This is why she tends to smother him and scare him away. You might have run into this one yourself. Smothering your man is one of those accidental mistakes that women make from fear of losing him. The more trust and space you allow him, the more likely he is to willingly keep pursuing you. The less freedom he has, the more he's going to doubt his emotions and his feelings for you. And finally, the next recipe is it's all about how you complement each other. I don't mean pay each other compliments. I mean that you go together, how well you complement each other. Instead of focusing on how many things you share, take a look at how well you fit together. Do you have the same goals for creating a family together? Do you find inspiration from learning from each other, sharing interesting ideas together? Is conversation easy between you? Is it a two-way street? You sense that your partner always has your best interests in mind, that what they want is what's best for you more than anything else. Look, almost everyone in the world dreams of sharing their future with a person that matches them in some way. Forget all the old rules and instead let's focus on what really matters in your relationship. How compatible are you? Would you like to find out? Well, I've got a very weird quiz. It's a little bit different than what you've probably taken that will tell you more about your relationship and whether or not you're really right for each other. This quiz works because it looks at you and whether or not you are going to be compatible with most men. You see, Guys are almost universally similar in what they want in a woman. If you understand what he wants, you can be compatible with any guy you want. Go take my weird compatibility quiz right here. That's right, go to datingfire.com/compatible. That's datingfire.com/compatible. The good news is you might be able to make him compatible with you. Do you want to find out more? Go take the quiz, datingfire.com/compatible. And if you really want more of this topic, go to datingfire.com. You can go check out the article and you can see what I couldn't fit into this video. And if you're new here, or even if you're not, do the big three quick. Before you run away, like and subscribe. Get this stuff every week. Turn on notifications. Click that bell icon so you get notified when I release more of these videos. Yes, coming up very soon. And if you're already subscribed, please share. I give away all this great info, and it's getting harder and harder for me to be seen on the internet, and I really need people to just share me with their friends. Don't let the algorithms bury Carlos. And number 3, make sure you comment below. Do you agree with these tips I gave? Is there a video you want? You got a question? Leave me a comment below if you want a part 2, or if there's any other videos you want to see. I read the comments and I do try to respond to as many as I can each week. And don't forget, wait a few more seconds. I'm going to put a recommended video right here for you in the corner for you to click. This is Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. As always, live and love with passion.